What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Rolldaddy here. So you see, got my Iowa Hawkeyes tie on, and it only means it's time for one thing. Season 2 of Mr. Rolldaddy's Hawkeye Football Analyst. Yes, Hawks play Saturday, believe it or not, so it means I have my obligations to do these videos again, so here we get going at it. Now, before I start with anything, I've got a couple changes for this year. So, last year I had 5 roll keys for offense and defense. This year, it's only going to be 3 of them, which means videos are going to be shorter, and that is something what some people had really thought would help my videos quite a bit. Now, Rolldaddy's Big Roll of the Week. If you watched this series last year, you remember that's something I do at the end of every video, which I'll explain later. Well, the Big Roll of the Week, it cannot be used for the same or similar opponent as last year, and there's no, for example, no radar defense against Iowa State, no Wildcat offense against Northwestern this year, but the interesting strategy I come up with is still only be allowed to use once in a year. Once I do that Big Roll of the Week, it cannot be used again for the rest of the season. Now, disclaimer. All views which I express in this video are completely my own. They do not represent those of, or the interest of, the University of Iowa, the opposing school, any media outlets, athletic departments, coaches, players, staff, university officials, or anybody or anything which is otherwise affiliated with the upcoming game or with the business of college football. I am a Just for Fun sports analyst doing a project based off of the university and collegiate football team I love. I am an alumnus of the University of Iowa and a Hawkeye for life. I always want the best for my school. So, here's my pregame notes. Hawkeyes absolutely must start the season right. They cannot by any means afford to take a loss here. Their offense has got to show some promise early on, and they have to win by scoring touchdowns. Touchdowns! So, no 7-3 game like last year. Oh my God, that's a game I will never, ever forget about, but of course, I'm still happy Iowa won that game, but we can't win week 1 like that again. Now, my first offensive roll key. Strike early. Iowa spent this whole offseason getting new acquisitions and improving their offense. They even adjusted Brian Ferentz's contract. So this is the best chance for him to show that, hey, you're really an improved offense. Well, yes, now is the time to do it. Here's what I'm suggesting. Score on that opening drive. Call up shake up the play calling. It can open up some more scoring. Have flexibility with it. Adjust, and adjust. And if you can do that, the points are going to come early and often for Iowa. Next, it seems so basic, but it's going to be big. Get the tight ends involved. Eric All and Luke Lachey, they're a great tight end duo. And I'm not saying that just because, yes, it's Iowa's strength, but this is a really great weekend to make it difficult for the future opposing defensive coordinators. Don't always do it passing, but also just run them for blocking as well, especially on those twin tight end sets. It's going to be hard for future defensive coordinators to predict. Next, the offense just has to manage their defensive line. They got 2 really good guys up front. Heli Matukapoya and Poski Vakuta. I don't know if I even said that right, but those guys in a program that has a lot of JUCOs and new faces, they're great leaders for that Utah State program. Not just the defense, but the entire program. And again, they are seniors, and I'm going to say just double team them when needed. Take care of them, and when you're running inside, you got to have the holes, and you got to play those guys. Now, on the defensive side, you got to prove you're still great. I mean, first of all, it's a very winnable game for Iowa, but not just that. It's a game where Iowa can easily win by a long 10 points or less. It's something that can absolutely happen. Just follow the assignments. Make sure Jack Campbell's production is still being matched. Tackle well. Force the turnovers early and often. Now, my second role key. Take advantage of the inexperience. Like, again, what I was saying earlier. Utah's got a lot of young faces. Oh, sorry. Well, talking quite a bit, obviously, but Utah State, they got quite a bit of young and new faces on their offense. It's not the team you want to face when you don't have the experience on offense, so that defensive lineman, all those guys, they got to really use their D-line stunts to the advantage as a means of making sure that they attack Utah State's offense. And that great deep backfield and blitzing can do a lot as well. And because Utah State's inexperienced, they got to make them feel overwhelmed and overworked. I mean, what better of a team to do this against than one that really has so much inexperience and so many new faces on offense? And again, this is not the opponent you want to face with that lack of experience. So let's really make sure that Iowa gets Utah State so overwhelmed, so overworked that it creates a distraction for them. Now, yes, shorter videos. We're already at Rolldaddy's Big Roll of the Week at roughly, I think, 7 minutes into the video. So, again, it's an interesting strategy, formation, trick play, or otherwise surprise tactic that I'd use as an Iowa coach to potentially catch the opponent off guard and or give an unexpected advantage to the Hawkeyes. And as I explained earlier, I can only use each big roll of the week once in a season, and it can't be the same one for the same or similar opponent as last year. Here we go. Oof. Put in the X on offense. Yes, Xavier Nwankpa, our 5-star recruit safety. Have him play a bit on offense. Put a wide receiver to catch Utah State off guard. Throw some short and deep passes to him. Even have some running plays with him. He wears number 1 after all. And again, 1 is a great number for offensive players, so how about you just try him on offense? This really can make future opposing defensive coordinators prepare more, because from my experiences playing football and back in high school, coaches do plan against trick plays that could even possibly, and I mean possibly, happen. Even if it's only been seen on tape for like 1 or 2 games, yes, coaches do prepare for those trick plays, even if there's only the slightest chance of it happening. And that is it, everybody. Thank you for watching. Let's go get this win this week for the Hawkeyes. Let's go!